All right, happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome to my channel. If you are not a person who normally watches, my name is Boho Nutrition, or Rhiannon Lester. I'm a bariatric dietitian, so a dietitian that specializes in weight loss surgery as well as a nurse. I'm also a bikini competitor. So yeah, welcome. There will be all sorts of topics talked about on this channel, including just different like nutrition tips, things that I see that I think are bullshit that need to be called out. So yeah, hopefully this is the content for you. Hopefully this doesn't offend anybody. If it does, well, it happens. All right, so today we will be talking about using the food scale. This is a very easy way to measure your food, and it's the most accurate. So the idea is if you are measuring your food with a food scale, you don't have to do any extra dishes, right? So like measuring cups, measuring spoons, all that stuff. You're making a mixed dish. Let's say you're making a casserole or something like that. Pretty much every recipe has the metric or the gram unit of measure or weight measure, whatever, whether it be milliliters, 1 milliliter equals 1 gram, what have you. So there are ways to literally measure any recipe, and it's going to be more exact. So if you're somebody who's been like spinning your wheels in a dieting phase, fat loss phase, you may want to start controlling more variables and taking a look. I mean, there are things other than just food that could obviously be a factor, whether, you know, your sleep is poor, you're not moving as much, perhaps you're not controlling for, you know, keeping cardio activity consistent, or things like that. So there are many, many variables. All it comes down to, guys, and it's a numbers game, right? Calories in, calories out. And that is like the first video I ever made for my channel, because that is truly what it comes down to. I don't care if you're keto, I don't care what modality you choose to create a calorie deficit, that is what you're creating at the end of the day, whether you're counting calories or not. So on keto, people, or, you know, any diet, but for instance, on keto, people will cut out like an entire food group to help create that calorie deficit. But over time, it may stop working, and they're like, oh, keto wound up not working, or what have you. If you like that and it helps you adhere, go ahead, do keto, I don't care. But anywho, you may want to start controlling variables, and one of those is watching your intake and using a food scale rather than measuring utensils. So, you can measure anything with the food scale, you guys. So let's say you're taking just a fruit as a snack, and you're like, I don't have time to cut this apple up. Cool. You turn on your food scale. Hopefully it actually turns on. Oh, it is on. Huh. Well, that's awkward. You weigh it, and this entire apple is 168 grams. That is something that you can track in MyFitnessPal, whatever you're using to track your intake. If you're using something, I would recommend it if you are somebody who's stalling in your fat loss phase and you're looking to take it further. On a competition prep, you're likely going to have to track. If you're, you know, trying to move towards a very lean physique, tracking will be imperative. So anyway, this is 168 grams. You can just take this, keep the core. When you come home, weigh the core, subtract it. So that way, quick, easy. You don't have to cut it up, nothing. Same with your orange. Weigh it. It's 184 grams. You peel it, you eat it. Take the peel home, weigh the peel. You know exactly what you ate. So it's very easy to control variables that way. Is it going to make or break some people? Maybe not. For other people, yes, you're going to want to be more exact. You can weigh anything. I also recommend, like, if you're on a contest prep, you are going to want to weigh prepackaged items and starches, because they often aren't what they say they are. So a portion of 647 bread, which I love this bread. It's very like fluffy, it's tasty, it's white, but it has a lot of fiber content. For somebody who doesn't get enough fiber, especially on a contest prep, sometimes it can be hard for some people. You may want to use a more fibrous, low-calorie bread. So a slice of this should be 28 grams. And it's only 25 grams, so that's kind of nice, right? You get a little bonus. Let's say you take the heel. Let's see what the heel is. So that's 19 grams. Cool, even better. But if you're somebody who is actually trying to see what you're really truly eating, so that way you know how far you need to cut further. Like, let's say you aren't seeing changes in your physique and you're actually eating less than you thought you were eating. It's very hard to adjust for that, right? Because you're going to systematically take down intake or calories as needed to get to that physique goal that you're striving for. And if you're not even sure what you were eating, you don't know really where to go from there, right? You can measure anything. So like a cup of this cereal is 38 grams. You take your bowl, you zero out your bowl, and you put it in. Whatever it says, you track. Same thing goes for whatever milk you're using. So it always says, 1 cup, it'll be certain amount of milliliters. 1 milliliter equals 1 gram. Put it in, see what it weighs, cool. Move on with your life. You don't have to get any extra measuring cups out. And I will demonstrate for you. Hang tight. So one of my favorite things to pick on is peanut butter, because people often underestimate what it is they are eating when it comes to peanut butter. So what you could do is take your jar. Oh my God, my husband has been at this. You can zero it out, and whatever you scoop out, you can track in MyFitnessPal. Everything's dropped down grams. Beartastic, same thing. I don't care what mode of tracking that you're using. It's quite easy. And then you can just take your scoop and do it that way. But to show inaccuracies in measure, I don't even know if there's a tablespoon in here. Alright. Well, a beautiful swap for peanut butter is PB2. Guys, I don't care if there's bloopers in these videos. I'm imperfect. But anyway, so 2 tablespoons is supposedly 13 grams. And I am a person who does truly try, if I were to use a tablespoon, oh my gosh, hit the wrong button, make sure it's truly level. But when you get hungry on a contest prep or in a fat loss phase, it can be difficult, right? People will say, maybe that's good. And I'll come a little closer, show you exactly what this looks like. So it's pretty level. You've got a little bit of a divot and a little bit of a mound there. And now I've got to clean this tablespoon, which I don't love. I hate doing extra dishes. So we get a 2 tablespoon measure. So that's pretty level if you're eyeballing. So you're 1 gram off. Doesn't matter. Maybe not. But over time, if you're 1 gram off on a lot of things, it's gonna matter in the long term. And something more calorie dense like a peanut butter, like that with that fat content, it could matter quite a bit. Whereas this, 1 gram, I'm not too concerned. In 13 grams, there's 1.5 grams of fat, 5 grams of carbohydrates, 6 grams of protein. This is a much better protein source for those who enjoy peanut butter as a protein. And you can add like no calorie sweetener. I love stevia, I'll add that, a little bit of salt. If you're somebody who has a low potassium, like you don't really get enough in your diet, you can use new salt. Don't do that without consulting your doctor, because if you are on a potassium sparing diuretic, that could be a very bad time. But you mix it up with a little bit of water and it tastes literally freaking delicious. Kid you not. I love PB2. I use it in like a yogurt, like the Light and Fit Greek yogurt, because that one's creamy and it has a lot of protein content and it's sweet. I love sweets, obviously. So yeah, I'll utilize that in the yogurt, and then I will cut up an apple and I'll make a dip out of it, so it's really yummy. There are all sorts of other things that you can weigh rather than use like a portioned out anything. But for instance, I talk about like things you wouldn't expect to weigh, like starches, Joseph's pitas. These are notorious for messing up competitors' preps because they pretty much never weigh what they're supposed to. So one pita is supposed to weigh 37 grams. So we tar out our food scale, throw him on there. He weighs 45 grams, you guys. That is quite a bit more than the, 37 it's supposed to be. That can add up if you're just like, yeah, I'm having one Joseph's pita and I'm gonna make my pita pizza, which is pretty cool, you guys. You can utilize your food scale to make your pita pizzas. I should have grabbed a plate. But anyway, you could tar out your plate. You'll get the illustration. Throw your pita on there. Oh, he's too big. You gotta do the math. Put the drop down in, or usually in MyFitnessPal, it'll have a drop down and you can just select grams and put the gram weight. You open up your sauce, tar it out, put it on there, whatever it says. You try it. Don't lick your spoon, you guys. You lick and dip in that spoon. Those are licks and dips that aren't accounted for. That makes your job harder. It makes your coach's job harder. Yes, it's fine if you're like not looking for physique changes and you're just living life. Dip away. That's great. You're healthy. That's fine. That's totally good. If you're on a contest prep or in a fat loss phase, make it as easy on yourself as possible. So please, guys, do your best and weigh and measure accordingly. Anyway, so you've got your pita pizza on your scale. You're going to throw like that sauce on there, your fat-free mozzarella, and whatever it says, whatever it reads on your food scale, that is what you will track. So be sure that you can actually accurately know what you're eating. You can make casseroles this way, you guys. So if you're making a dish for your family, go ahead, do it. Like, you can take literally a Pyrex, and this is how I do a lot of recipe creation. Guys, you can check out my vocal media. I have recipes on there. You can reach out to me on Instagram. We made a bariatric cookbook. But anyway, you can tar out your entire souffle dish. Throw in, like I love making cheesy cauliflower mac and cheese for my husband, for me, for the fam. So you throw in your cauliflower, right? Whatever it says you track. I usually weigh the casserole dish prior to using it and just write it down somewhere so I know what the dish actually weighs. Then, when I add all my stuff and I cook it, I reweigh it, subtracting the casserole dish. So I know what the entire recipe weighs. So when I go to grab a portion, I can zero out the bowl, take my scoop, put it in my bowl. Oh cool, I have 50 grams of my casserole. In MyFitnessPal, there's a menu creator button. It's so cool. Because you quantify all of your items in grams and you know what that total recipe is, you can quite literally make that recipe that many total servings. And then, let's say your portion is 50 grams, and the drop down, you say 50 servings. and boom, you know exactly what's in your dish. You never have to be on a boring meal plan again. Chicken, broccoli, and rice is not fun for everybody. So this way you can quite literally have anything you want in a fat loss phase, in an improvement season, what have you. You don't have to be eating like special anabolic foods, something weird like that. If you love eating shrimp, eat shrimp. If you love eating egg white, eat egg white. If you want to have a whole egg, have a whole egg. Like, you are able to make those decisions for yourself. You can weigh things like these everything bagel thins, crackers, veggies, canned vegetables. So it says in a half cup portion, it's 120 grams. So instead of making sure you've got your half cup measuring scoop, you don't have to do that. You can just zero out your bowl, throw it in until it says 120 grams, and then put the rest away in a Tupperware, like in your fridge or something like that. So I hope this helps. I actually want to show you this one. So one packet is supposed to be 28 grams. These I actually know typically are on point. Well, we're going to find out. So you can throw this in here. So he's 27 grams. I wouldn't lose sleep over it. And then you can, like, when I utilize like an oatmeal, I always add a protein source with it. That's how I eat for pretty much all my meals and snacks. I always pair with a protein. It's going to be good for satiety, blood sugar controls, and obviously for muscle protein synthesis. The research does show us that anywhere from 3 to 5 meals a day is beneficial for, hoping that you will actually gain muscle by utilizing protein at those times. So you can add yogurt, like I use the Light and Fit Greek yogurt, or protein powder, things like that, and it also gives it flavor because this is unsweetened. And then I'll add like a no-calorie sweetener, maybe some almond milk, and there you've got protein, a little bit of healthy fat, and your whole grain, and boom, it gets quite voluminous, so I wouldn't put it in this little bowl. But yeah, so you guys get the point. I hope this is super helpful for some people. For some competitors, they're going to be like, yeah, this is old news. But not everybody's a competitor, and some people may be really frustrated in their dieting phase right now and be like, wow, okay, that's great. Like, now I have something to control for another variable. So all things to utilize, you guys, and to think on. If you have any questions that you want me to answer, you can always message me on my Instagram. Tell me what content you like, what you want to see moving forward. I make these videos for you, so whatever you like, whatever I see with the most views, which happens to be like when I spew about celebrities and things like that, they get the most views. But there hasn't been a whole lot that I've been noticing in the media lately, but I'm sure I could find something. So please let me know what you think moving forward, and feel free to reach out to me. Have a great week, you guys.